Hello, everybody. It is Friday, and here on the Sunshine Coast, we've actually got a public holiday for the kids, at least. And my husband and I are trying to do a little bit of work from home in between the kids, so it's all a little bit of fun. But I'm about to be joined in a moment by Miranda from Wordbird Copywriting. And we are going to get into a really interesting topic that I love to talk about, and that is all about testimonials, because there are good testimonials, there are great testimonials, and then there are drool worthy testimonials. So I'm just waiting for her to join me in the live. Hopefully she'll be here in a moment. I can see that she's here. We may be having a bit of technical difficulty. But yes, drool worthy testimonials, what is that happening? Here we go. Miranda's joining us. A drool worthy testimonial. I think we're going to dive into, what does that really mean? And why do you need them? A testimonial is something that it's a sales tool for your business. There is nothing more powerful than when your clients are talking about you and saying something that's definitely genuine, that's results focused, amazing comments all about you, and it's coming from somebody else. There's nothing better. So hey, Miranda, thank you so much for joining me. Had a little tech malfunction there getting on, but I think you've made it, so welcome.
Yeah, thank you, good to be here. Technology
Awesome.
challenges on my phone.
I can't hear you. So let me see if I can plug this. That's better.
Okay. Got me?
Yes. Yep. I can hear you now. Oh, brilliant. So thank you for joining us. Do you want to give everybody a quick intro to who you are and a bit about yourself, and then we'll start diving into the testimonial tips that we've got?
Yeah, today. Sure. So my name's Miranda. My business is the Wordbird Copywriting. I write copy for small businesses with heart, humor, and humanity. And I've been doing copywriting sort of on and off for about 15 years, but I only launched into a serious, shall we say, copywriting business last year and decided that that's what I want to do and nothing else. And I had the great fortune of stumbling across Jess at some point. I can't remember whether it was Facebook or Instagram, doesn't really matter, but started following her and just the content that she creates I found really helpful in my business. And when you found someone who just feels like your tribe, when they speak, it feels like they're speaking to you. That's how I've kind of always felt with Jess. And so I've just been doing her business jam program, and I have loved it. And now,
thank you.
and it's helped me kind of uncover my love for case studies and testimonials, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, because I think that this is something I would say almost every business owner probably, it's like a love-hate relationship, right? We love testimonials, we want them, we want to get them, but we do not like asking for them.
No, we feel awkward, we feel icky, we put it off and hope that they'll just magically appear on our Google My Business or on our Facebook or in our inbox, and we won't have to do anything to get them. But sadly, it doesn't usually work out that way. Sometimes it does, but a lot of the time it doesn't, and you've got to put in the work to get them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we know as well, how much value they are. I think it doesn't matter how good, and you being a copywriter, you would know as well, but even if you have the best copy, the best messaging, the most amazing service or package, there's nothing that's actually more powerful or more valuable than having someone else's words saying about your business, your product, or how much it helps them. And so that's really, what we need to lean into more is, wow, we really need to leverage this amazing sales tool that's right under our noses. It's not even us. It's actually the power of the people who we have worked with, who we've got the results for. And I think that one of the things I'd love to talk to about, with you today, and I'm sure this is what you're going to share with us all as well, is there's a big difference between the testimonial that somebody, out of the goodness of their heart, that they just go pop onto your page and write a lovely message, versus one where you've, you know, gone to a little bit more trouble. You know, there's a little bit more time and effort that gets put in, or maybe a lot, you know, depending on what you think a little or a lot is, but there's a big difference between that and one where you've actually gone out to get a really valuable testimonial. And I think that's what you're going to share with us today, is a bit of an insight to, you know, what makes a Drool Worthy testimonial, and, you know, why you don't just leave it up to them to write whatever they're kind of feeling at the moment. Because I think, you know, just from my experience, I've got some fantastic testimonials from people who are like, oh, Jess is so lovely. You know, she's an amazing coach and we had a great time and I had a great experience, and that's fantastic. That's lovely, and all the good vibes. And I love to get those messages. But we can take it to another level when we're coming to selling our, you know, our programs and our packages and services. So I will stop talking now and hand it to you.
Yeah. And I think that, like, we know that, but it's actually really hard to get people to write the words that you need them to write, that do things like help you, you know, back up claims that you make about yourself and your capabilities on your website and social media. And, you know, really great testimonials help you do that, so that it's not just you saying what you do, but someone who has worked with you saying, yes, they can actually do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, honestly, I can. Please believe me.
I think there's, you know, there's roadblocks to getting testimonials, and then there's roadblocks to getting great testimonials as well. But there are, you know, there's ways to go about it so that it can actually work for you. So I'm going to just kind of chat through my 3 Ps to Drool Worthy testimonials. The first one is preparation. And there's a few steps to this. And, you know, it's not just about asking for a testimonial at the end of a project. It's putting it through your entire client experience, so that you're not surprising someone at the end by saying, oh, hey, can we have a testimonial? They're kind of expecting it all along. And you're also going to be making it a bit easier for them by things that you do throughout your project as well. So, you know, putting it in your how I work, if you have documentation in what you send to clients or on your website, putting something in there about the fact that you'll be asking for a testimonial is really great, so then they're aware of it. You can note it in your terms and conditions, obviously not saying that you need to have one or you expect it, but it's useful to state in there that that's part of how you work. Talk about it with them as well. Like, don't just have it documented, chat to them, and so that they're then aware that this is something that really actually matters to you, and you will be talking about it and asking for one at the end. And then throughout the project, you'll often find that clients will give you words that you can actually use to help them later on. So don't just leave those sitting in your email. Make a note of them. If they say something like, you know, this has really made a difference in, you know, how I run my business day to day, whatever it might be, make a note of those things, because it will do 2 things. It will actually make it really easy for you to help them at the end, and it will make it easy for them to actually write something they can then reflect on, things that perhaps they've actually forgotten.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And I was going to say, one of the things that I started doing was, when I'm onboarding, is actually getting some words from them right then and there at the beginning. So it's like the problem statement, like, where are they at right now? Let's actually get those words down, because when it comes time at the end, they may have forgotten the pain that they were feeling. They may have forgotten where they're at.
You've had such a great impact, they've forgotten what life was like before.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a big part, which I'll talk about later too, is the transformation. And that's, you know, part of the anatomy of a really great testimonial, is actually having a look at the transformation that you've helped create. So getting that before to help them remember the transformation just makes it all a little bit easier at the end. So the next P is persuasiveness. And there's 2 parts to that. I think it's easy for people to lose sight of the fact that a testimonial is not just for you. It's so that you can help more people like them. So when you remind your client of, you know, the pain that they were feeling at the start and how you've been able to help them, wouldn't they like to be able to help more people like them? So when you have great testimonials, you're able to do that. And the other and the other part to it is that testimonials really are the lifeblood of small business, you know, particularly for businesses in their early days, where, you know, they're really relying on social proof to demonstrate that they can do what they're saying they're doing. So, you know, helping people understand, you know, the vitalness of having great reviews and testimonials might just sort of shift their thinking and help them prioritize actually writing one for you.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's it as well. It's, you know, when someone's writing one for you or giving you the words, it's like, you know, yes, I love the feedback and I want to hear that, but actually you're talking not to me, you're talking to other people out there who might be the same as you. And I think that just that subtle shift in how you're thinking of who they're speaking to, I think could really help them to get some of the real gold nuggets out as well, because it's like, well, what would you tell someone who was you back then, and who might be considering this? You know, what would you say to them about it? You know, what would be the thing that would be of value, and that might have helped you when you were in that position? So I love that. That is amazing. I think I'm probably not doing that right now, but I'm going to start doing that.
That's what I try to do if I'm writing a testimonial for someone. I always think, what would I like to have read or understood or felt confident about before I worked with this person? I'm going to put that in the testimonial to try and help other people like me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I just have to say a quick hello to my friend Chance, who is, he's a friend and local business associate, and someone who has become a big supporter over the last couple of years. He's helped me a lot with some public speaking opportunities. So I just want to say a quick hello. It's lovely to see you here, Chance.
Awesome. And Leslie's given us a comment too, saying thanks, ladies, great testimony.
Oh, she has too. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
I hope you're finding it helpful and you can go away and implement them.
Yes. So are we on to P number 3? Are we
yes, we're on to P number 3, which is painless. You want to make it as painless as possible for people, because quite often people have all good intentions of writing a testimonial. You know, they want to, they know they should, they want to help you, but they either aren't prioritizing it, they're not really sure what to say, they don't know what makes a great testimonial. So make it really easy for them. Like, let them know this is not War and Peace. You're not looking for an essay. Like, you know, short and sharp is really kind of where it's at. You know, brevity is the foundation of a really great testimonial.
Yes.
And then
people don't know what to say. They're like, oh, what do I even say? And I think that's probably the key thing that most people struggle with when writing one, is like, oh, I want to give a really good testimonial. And, you know, if you're just at a blank page and you're like, what is it that that I should say about them? Makes it so much easier if you can ask them some questions and say, hey, I'd love a testimonial, you know, maybe you could answer these 2 questions or include this information in it. And it takes the thinking away, which is awesome, because it makes it easy for them to do, right?
Yeah, it does. And, you know, this is kind of going back to the transformation and reflecting on their pain points and why they started working with you in the first place. So if you've done your preparation and you've got those pain points and you've got the words that they've handed you throughout the project because you wowed them all the way along, then you're well on the way to giving them some of the structure that they actually need for putting a testimonial together. And then we've got another little P within the P's here, and that's giving them prompters. So things that can help them pull a testimonial together. So it might be letting them know themes or topics that you're after that are to do with your business objectives or your values or statements that you make about your business. So you can do things like, you know, put some sentences together to help them. You can even direct them to existing testimonials on your site and say, you know, here's some examples of some really good ones. If you could write something kind of like that, that would be really helpful too.
Yeah. Now, back in my corporate days, we actually used to write them for our clients and then send them the testimonial and say, we thought you might say something along these lines. You know, feel free to edit it as much as you like. And often people didn't edit it much. So
often they don't.
Yeah. That is actually, you know, I don't do that at the moment at all, but you know, that's definitely a tactic that worked really well when your clients were busy. You know what the value was that you really wanted to talk about with that project, and you know, doing the work for them, it can certainly help. At the moment, I do a bit of a mix where I write some questions and And so from that, you know, I'm like, just write whatever you want, but I'll try to pull the gold nuggets out. And then, you know, I might come back and say, hey, I've just put this together. What do you think about that? But it's their own words. And I think that's the thing is, you know, you got to really think about, do you want the instant one? So the other thing that I do is I do send them the link to my Facebook page and say, I'd love a review. But then you're leaving it open for whatever they're going to say. So if this is a client that you want, you know that you want a really valuable testimonial from, I would put in the work and think that you're going to be part of the process of helping to get that information out, because they will never get it as good as what you can get it when you're really working the words together and pulling out the message that you want, you know, that you know other people would want to hear as well. So yeah, I guess, so tell us, you know, because obviously this is now what you are doing for other clients, because, you know, there is a bit of work involved in getting that testimonial and doing the interview, asking the right questions, you know, getting that information out. You know, so many of us go, yeah, we'd love that, but we just don't have time because I'm so busy working with clients. I don't have time to get out there and do it. So, you know, what is the process that you've put together that you do now for other businesses? Maybe.
Yeah. So I've put together an offer now where I can actually take the stress and the awkwardness and the ickiness of getting testimonials off your plate, and I'll take care of it all for you. So I'll do a quick brief with clients to understand, you know, the project and the transformation that, you know, from their perspective. And then I actually interview the client. So I'll ask those questions. I will understand the transformation. I'll understand their pain points. You know, we'll really work through emotions as well. And then I will pull together a testimonial, send it to the client for their approval and sign off. And then it's delivered back to my client, ready for them to use on their website, on their social media, in pitch decks. And, you know, there are so many different places that you can and should be using testimonials, and often they're probably not really being celebrated and used in the way that they could and getting the impact that they could be having.
Yeah. And you only need, like, you know, like a few really solid ones that you can use everywhere to be making a much bigger impact than, you know, lots of ones that are kind of fluffy and full of, you know, full of nice words, but not really saying anything of substance. So I think I love that you have that approach of both the actual transformation. So what are the real results, you know, what's something tangible, and the emotion, because I think that people generally are either one or the other. You know, I get some lovely ones and it's just all full of emotion and there's nothing tangible, or someone else that will just be like bang straight to the fact, and then nothing that helps people really relate to it, of how they were feeling or where they were at. So combining the two is absolutely, you know, that's what turns it into what I would call that Drool Worthy testimonial, for sure.
Yeah, and the transformation can be anything. Like, it can be something that's, you know, financial, it can be something that's emotional, psychological, social, developmental. So it's not just about making more money. You know, there are all sorts of different ways that you can undergo transformation. And, you know, a really great testimonial can highlight sort of more than one of those transformations in a few sentences. And they're the ones that, you know, really stand out. And it's important when you're writing them as well that they're structured in a way that, you know, the most important point is kind of pulled out at the start as a headline, that thing that's going to really capture someone's attention. So when you talk about, you know, the anatomy of a great testimonial, having a, you know, a pull-out headline that really makes someone kind of stop in their tracks and then actually read the rest of it, so they can, you know, fully understand, you know, the transformation in all its glory, including the emotional impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I love pulling the text from what someone's written and actually like moving it around a bit, because I want to pull out that punchline and make that the headline of the testimonial. It's like, it's not really their name. No one really cares what their name is or who they are. They care about what is that one-liner. And there's so many people, especially if you're putting them online, you know, people are scrollers. We skim read, and if we don't even read the rest, it doesn't matter, because we've got the most important bit out of it. You know, we actually saw the punchline, and it's not buried in the middle of like the third paragraph.
I completely missed.
Often what happens,
exactly.
you know, people aren't always straight out with the major goals when they first start writing. So
awesome,
amazing tips there. Thank
Yeah.
you. Do you have any final tip, and then you can tell us where people can also connect with you?
I think my final tip is the bonus P, and that's persistence, which is, you know, if you've asked for a testimonial and you've got crickets, that doesn't mean that they're not going to write one for you. And that doesn't mean that you should just let it go. Like, you know, polite persistence is okay because, you know, we're all busy. We've all got a to-do list, you know, the length of a COVID testing line in a new hotspot kind of thing. Like everyone, no one wants something else. No one else wants something else to do. And maybe they just need a little prod, a little prompt from you. And it's okay to kind of follow up politely. You know, stalking them 10 times and chasing it is probably not okay. But, you know, following up once or twice with a reasonable amount of time in between and doing whatever you can to make it easy for them is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, if there's someone that you're not sure about, or, you know, you want to ask for a review and you're not sure, you know, the first step could even just be reaching out to say, hey, I'd love to get some feedback, you know, and then if they give you some good feedback, you could come back and say, you know, this is amazing feedback.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we turn it into a testimonial and actually, you know, break it down into a 2-step process? So,
Yeah.
you know, you absolutely don't have to go the whole hog right from the word go, especially if you're not sure. And it's great to get feedback, you know, good or bad. I'm always seeking feedback. I'm like, how can I improve? You know, tell me what the things are that didn't work for you or that weren't so good, because, you know, I know a lot of the time that might not be as significant, but if I know what they are, then I can work on improving them. And if I don't know what they are, then, you know, you're just blind to it. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, you know, that's a great reason why sometimes having an impartial third party do it for you is really great, because if you genuinely want the feedback so that you can, you know, always be doing better, quite often people are going to be more likely to give really honest feedback to someone outside of the relationship.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think, you know, that's why, so even, you know, having somebody reach out to do testimonials on your behalf, it also takes away that awkward factor, because you're not there saying, hey, let's have a phone call, and, you know, all of the anxiety that might go along with that. You know, it becomes a much easier process because, you know, you're trusting someone else to have that conversation, and, you know, then, you know, yes, good and bad feedback, you know, want to hear it all, really. But the objective being that we get something out of there that's of value to you to then use as a marketing tool and sales tool for your business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have a limited time offer at the moment, seeing as I've just launched this as a really simple done for you service. And I'm offering just a handful of packages to the first 5 people. One's already snapped up, who want to get testimonials done for you. If you want to find out more about the offer and the package and how I can help you, you can jump onto my website. It's wordbirdcopy.com.au.
Fantastic. And obviously you can also reach out here on Instagram as well. You're Wordbird Copywriting, aren't you? So
that's right. Yes. Yeah.
That sounds incredible. Only 5 places for that. And I think they'll be snapped up really quickly, because this must be the #1 challenge for every business owner is, you know, just the time to reach out and get
I think
those testimonials.
Yeah, having it taken away, and then that feeling of getting a really great testimonial delivered to you without having to put in any effort yourself and it's ready to go is going to be so beneficial to businesses that take it up.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So beneficial. And just having those ones where you're like, oh, I want to put this everywhere. Can I put it?
Yeah.
Can I put it on the front page of my website? And
yes, you should. Yes. And just quickly, that was something I didn't actually touch on, was just all the places you can use them. Like, it's not just website, you know, you can put them, like I have them in my proposals and in my contracts. So, you know, that's something that kind of gets sent through frequently. So it's really useful to kind of have that social proof in there when someone's pondering my proposal and pondering whether they want to sign my contract. You can, you know, just even familiarizing yourself with the words and being able to use them in conversations is really useful too. And for businesses that have, you know, a bricks and mortar business, putting them up, you know, on signs in your shop, in your reception area, around where your employees are, on notice boards, you know, they're not just for attracting more clients. If you've got somewhere with employees in an internal space, it's a really great tool to celebrate your wins as a business as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. But they really become part of your brand and your message. So no, that's fantastic. And I include them also in emails. You know, if I'm talking about a program and obviously I've got a great testimonial for it or two, you know, I put them in there because I'm not expecting everyone to suddenly go off my email and go searching around my website and have a look at things. You know, make it easy for people to read them and find them, and you know, be proud of them as well. Like, I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, you work hard to get them. You want them to be everywhere. And just on emails too, in your email signature is another great space, because then it's kind of just done and you can pop it in there and you don't have to think about ways to weave it through emails. It can just be there sitting in your signature.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Miranda. That is some really great tips. We've had even a couple of bonus ones in there at the end. So I'm sure everybody listening, thank you for joining us live and on the replay. There's been plenty there, I think, to get your teeth into and to think about with how you're approaching testimonials in your business, and you know, what you can do better, and or get Miranda to help you if you don't have time. So you know, only 4, because one place is already taken, but you've got an offer out there for 4 more people to snap up this testimonial done for you service, which just sounds incredible. So
I just realized I forgot to actually say what it's called.
I
completely neglected the name of this program. It's called Fan Your Feathers. And being the Wordbird copywriting, I love peacocks. They've got a peacock in the logo. And if you think about so there's a story behind it, like when a peacock is fanning its feathers, what's it doing? It's trying to attract attention. It's, you know, it's showing off how beautiful it is and attracting attention. So as a business, you know, your testimonials are not about showing off how beautiful you are, but how attractive and appealing and you can be to your clients. So you should be using testimonials to fan your feathers.
Love it. Love that. Brilliant. Well, as you can tell, she is a wordsmith, true and true.
I love my words.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And we will chat soon. And thank you, everybody who's joined us.
Thanks for having me, Jess.
No problem.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Bye. Bye.